kindness, compassion, support. Imagine a world where everyone had a mission to spread those three things every single day.
Yeah, because we all need them. And some people in all stages of life, of their lives, don't always receive kindness, compassion, or support. Well, one local woman is trying to change that. Leanne Rhodes is the founder of Tides of Grace, and she joins us this afternoon. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thanks.
We're going to talk about Tides of Grace in just a few moments, but first, you have a personal story that led to creating this nonprofit organization.
Yes. So during COVID, I was cleaning out my son's toy room. I posted the toys that we no longer needed to get ready for new toys coming in from Christmas. And I just posted them free to a good home. This local mom said she wanted them. She came out and I was helping her load the car. She was so thankful and she said, "Thank you so much for this. You have no idea what an impact this is going to make in our Christmas this year. We're both out of work because of COVID. Things are so tight and we're just going to wrap gently used toys and stick them under the tree. And those are going to be ones that Santa brought this year." And it warmed my heart. And I got to thinking how many other people right now are affected through COVID that are going through the same thing. And kids, they don't know the difference between a gently used toy and a brand new toy. So I was talking with my friend Erin and Jess, and I said, we should do this on the Eastern Shore and see if there's a need. How many other moms are trying to clean out their toys to make room for new toys? And so that's how the idea came about. So we just made an event on Facebook and we said, who has gently used toys you want to get rid of? And I made a form for anybody who wanted to receive toys to fill out. So we had an idea of how many people were going to come out. And it was in the middle of COVID, so we couldn't use any inside buildings. So I rented a space in the middle of a field at a park and we lined up all the toys. We had to rent a U-Haul because my garage was full, my shed was full, other people were hoarding toys at their house for us. And over 100 people came out to receive toys that year, and every single toy went. So then I was talking to my church, Eastern Shore 247 in Stevensville, and I said, I want to do this again. We should do it again. And so last year, they're like, well, you can use the inside of our building. You don't have to be in a field. So it was so nice to partner with them. So I got on Facebook again, said, who wants toys? And last year we had over 200 come out.
Wow.
And I said, this fills my heart to be able to help so many other people. And I was a former school teacher. I used to teach at a low-income school. So that's always been my heart to give back. And so I said, I'm going to make a nonprofit. I'm just going to do this. And I want it to get bigger and bigger every year, but I don't want it to be a one-time a month thing. I want to do something every single month for the community.
Okay, so you do a different theme
every month.
Every month. How does that work?
Well, we just launched Tides of Grace last month, so it's brand new, but the whole plan is in place for all of next year for 2023. So every month will be a different drive. So on our Facebook page, it breaks down every month. For instance, Books and Blankets is January. So anybody who needs a blanket or a book, they can come out and get one. There's even services one month. It's like free haircuts or free family photos. So there's just different free prom dresses. And so we'll just take donations from the community of people getting rid of stuff in their house, and we'll give it to those who just need a helping hand.
And one thing that I think it's interesting is you don't just target low-income families. It's anyone who is struggling.
Anybody who needs a helping hand. So my son's 4, but when he was 2 weeks old, he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And my life turned upside down, and I didn't even have the brain capacity to think about things like scheduling family photos and going to get haircuts. So every person is either coming out of a storm in the middle of one or going to hit one. And so I've always said, how nice is it to have a community that stands behind you when you're in the middle of a crisis? And so it's just a helping hand. In that moment, when he was in treatment, somebody said, let me do your family photos for you. You don't have to think about it. Tell me a day that works, show up, I'll do your photos. And so that's why I wanted to be that person. I want to be on the front line to help others. So if they're going through a storm in their life, they don't need to think about something. You just come out that day of that drive and you receive whatever the donation is of the month. So if it's family photos, if it's a blanket, it just makes their life easier.
Oh my God. Can I do a real quick sidebar? I'll be very quick about this. Stage 4 cancer.
He is all better.
Good.
He beat cancer in 88 days, and that is how I published my second book.
Okay, well that's what
That's awesome.
So you do have 2 books.
I have 2 published books. The first is Rise Up, Shine On. I grew up very low income, and I think that is where my heart developed. I always was on the recipient side growing up of needing resources in the community. And it shaped me into who I was. And when I became an elementary school teacher, looking back at my life, I wanted people to realize that their past does not define their future. You are the author of your own story. And so I published my book, Rise Up, Shine On. I thought I was a one and done book. And then when my son was in treatment, I wrote love letters every day to him, encouraging him to get through it. And so they said he would need at least 1.5 years of treatment. It was a miracle that unfolded. And so I published that into a book. So one day he has all his love letters, but I also wanted to help others. So before every love letter has a pep talk for anybody going through a storm in their life, it gives them a little bit of encouragement in their own life.
Oh,
so
Leanne,
that's Just Prevail.
You are a force, a force for good.
Yes.
Thank
Leanne
you.
Rhodes with Tides of Grace.
my
Thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely.
Thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you.